On in here now and show you exactly what we're looking at. Where you see these purples and reds, this is very heavy rain and likely some hail up to the size of ping pong balls. Here's LaPorte, here's the toll road, and this right here is the appendage or the hook echo, if you will. That's where a tornado would be located if we indeed had one on this storm. And yeah, this is LaPorte right here. And where you see the greens and the reds, we can even zoom in a little bit farther. I have meteorologist Alex County here as well. He's manning the radar for me. And this right here would be rotation, going away and toward the radar. So you've got winds going in both directions. That is right over the western side of LaPorte. If that is producing a tornado and you're in LaPorte or you're just west of LaPorte, you need to be in your tornado safe spot. You need to be in a shelter, a basement, the most interior, lowest room of your home, because this could produce a tornado at any moment. All right, you're going to be seeing here a live look behind the wheel of the ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Mobile Weather Tracker. Roads are getting icy and slick. This is Cleveland Road in Elkhart County. You can see the windshield looks like it has a little bit of liquid hitting it, which you would think would just be plain rain. But as that continues to fall, temperatures are below freezing. It will add up. Freezing rain doesn't add up as quickly as snow does, of course, but once it does start to stick, it's going to become very, very slippery out there.
And you don't need a lot of it. You don't need several inches.
No.
You need half
We're
inch,
talking
a
tenth of an inch, quarter of an inch, and that's already a significant headache. So a lot of slick spots out there now, and that's going to continue through the overnight hours. Look at Doppler radar here. This is a wide area of freezing rain moving in from the south. Everybody's seeing it, at least in our Indiana counties. Now, if you're not seeing anything falling right now, it may be very light, but eventually you will see some freezing rain over the next several hours here. We're watching this move in from the south, a lot of moisture with this system, so totals in terms of precip are not going to be small. They are going to be pretty impressive. There's one caveat to that. If precipitation falls heavy enough, like some of these darker purples here, it has a more difficult time accumulating. For freezing rain, if it rains too hard, it's more difficult for it to freeze on contact with cars and roads. So we want it to rain harder because it will have a more difficult time accumulating. Regardless, I do think slick roads, if not extremely dangerous roads, are likely through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. Down to the south, Fulton, Marshall, Stark, and Pulaski counties, you guys are socked in with some freezing rain. A little bit lighter, if not completely dry. Up Cass County, Berrien Springs, you're likely dry right now, but I've gotten some reports in Berrien County of some very slick roadways as well. So it's slick. It's just going to get more on the slick side through the overnight hours. Winter weather advisories for everybody in purple. That excludes Fulton and Pulaski counties. Regardless, you guys are still going to see some freezing rain through the overnight. I just think it's going to be less impressive the farther south you are. If you're east of US 31, if you're in Warsaw, Syracuse, Goshen, Cassopolis, Sturgis, or LaGrange, I do expect conditions to be worse for you for a longer duration of time. We're talking isolated slick spots as of right now, but that's going to ramp up through the overnight between midnight and 4 to 5 o'clock. Extremely dangerous travel, freezing rain, slick roads, poor travel, 1/10 to 4/10 of an inch of ice. That's a lot of ice, and that's going to cause some headaches. Temperatures, as I mentioned, they are supportive of freezing rain. 29 in South Bend, 28 in Elkhart, 29 in Goshen. So if we stay around these temperatures through the overnight, freezing rain will continue to fall, and that's what I'm expecting. Maybe getting up to 31 through 3 o'clock, 32 or so by the time some of us wake up for work and school. So we may be seeing freezing rain all the way through 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and that could lead to some school delays, school closings, and some very treacherous roads in the morning. What else I want to focus on here, look at these wind speeds. Sustained 15 to 20, we could be gusting 25 to 35. If enough ice accumulates on trees and power lines and you get a wind gust up near 35, power outages, of course, become something we want to focus on as well. So here we go on forecast track. Widespread freezing rain at midnight through the overnight hours. Notice we do start to change over to plain rain the farther south you are, around 3 a.m., but we're talking freezing rain all the way until 5 o'clock for many of us. It's out of here by tomorrow morning, I think 8 a.m., maybe a few areas of light drizzle. That would be it. And then it gets cold, and we're talking snow showers by tomorrow evening, tomorrow night, and Wednesday morning. And that could impact your Wednesday morning commute. So tonight it's the freezing rain. By tomorrow night, we switch gears and turn to a little bit of snow. This is one projection of ice totals here through tonight and tomorrow morning. And yeah, these are not pretty. You never want to see totals upwards of 2/10 to 3/10 of an inch of ice. This is going to create very treacherous driving on all roads. It's not just those secondary roads. This will impact all roads. Already has impacted US 31 with the semi slide off in Plymouth. So keep that in mind. 38 though, we do melt that ice tomorrow. Wednesday looks calm, and then another system Thursday and a Friday. That does not look like a freezing rain system, just showers ending as a little snow on Friday.
57 First Warning neighborhood meteorologist Tyler Sebree. Tyler?
Yeah, good evening, Tom. I'm on the rooftop here at the Stray Dog, right on the main drag here, right through downtown New Buffalo, and there have been a lot of people walking up and down the street, a lot of cars coming in, a lot of cars with license plates from Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin even. So people are coming from all over the place, just not only because it's a beach town, but we have the fireworks tonight, and we know it's hot, we know it's humid, and we know it's sunny right now, but did you know there's something that plays a lot more of a role in fireworks than the sun and the wind and the humidity? Well, it is the wind, I should say. And tonight we have none. There is really no wind component this evening for any of the fireworks shows across Michiana. That includes the Nile show here in New Buffalo, Plymouth, Walkerton, all of them. The wind is going to be essentially a non-factor. That means one thing. When the fireworks go off and they leave smoke like you're seeing here, the smoke doesn't move. The wind would normally blow the smoke around, but because there's no wind, the smoke kind of sits still in one spot. Also, this evening, there's going to be what we call a temperature inversion in the atmosphere. So about 500 feet up, where the fireworks blow up when they're in the sky, there's a temperature inversion. So it actually gets warmer up there. So that means the air gets trapped below that level. So the air is not only not going to be moving because there's no wind, but there's no way for the air to go upwards more than 500 feet because of the inversion. So there's going to be a lot of smoke. If you're out watching fireworks, don't be surprised if the smoke doesn't really move too much and you get that foggy scene after the fireworks. So come on out and enjoy it here in New Buffalo. You got plenty of time to get out here. A lot of people out and about, and it'll be a good evening for it weather-wise. I'm live in New Buffalo this evening. It was not a tornado, but as you can see behind me, whatever came through here, likely damaging straight-line winds, was very intense. And as we slowly zoom out, you can get the scope here of how big the root system is within this tree. It takes a lot of wind energy to knock a tree like this down, completely uproot it. And this isn't the only one. There are trees uprooted and snapped all across the town of Howe. Yeah, that's right, Brian. Some of what Bill here, the owner of the Apple Patch in North Liberty, is going to tell us may actually come as a surprise. When temperatures get up into the 70s and 80s this time of year, a lot of us are excited, but that actually may be a problem for the apples themselves. Is that right?
Yes. They'll either start dropping if we have too much heat and wind, but if we can get a 40-degree nights and 60-degree days, they'll last a lot longer on the tree.
And people are talking about this being a storm of historic proportions. Are we still talking about rain measured in feet?
Yes,
is that a possibility?
Absolutely. We've got, we have several forecast models we look at, and most of them, especially the ones we trust more than others, are spitting out 20 to 40 inches of rain.
Wow.
And there could be higher totals. If you remember Harvey from last year, we weren't thinking 60 inches of rain, but it happened. So.
At this point, is there really anything that can make it kind of diminish?
Turn away? No, and in fact, it's kind of odd to think of it like this, but high pressure will be over Michiana, and that high pressure is actually going to cause Florence to get stuck down in the Carolinas, and that's going to really exacerbate their impacts. For us, we're probably just going to stay dry as a result of our high pressure. In fact, some of the moisture from us might go down to the south because of Florence, and we might not see much rain at all for the next 7 days.
So our beautiful weather actually makes their horrible weather even worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
I really don't like thinking about it like that, but yes, our pressure that's over us right now has a direct impact on where Florence is headed. So that's why all these watches and warnings are in effect here, and it's going to certainly be a problem later this week and this weekend.
All right, Tyler, thank you very much.
And we're going to go ahead and advance on and look at our beautiful weather here. We've got plenty of sunshine for us, just a few clouds. That's about it. So again, we've got high pressure. We've got very nice weather. Nothing to worry about here over the next several days. We did have a few of those puffy cumulus clouds this afternoon, but that's really it. We didn't have any big issues. The fog this morning did cause some delays and certainly maybe some travel problems as well, but overall, we burned that off and it led to a very beautiful afternoon. And as the sun starts to set, notice all these clouds we had, they start to diminish. And that's because the heating of the day, which sparks those clouds, is starting to cool back down. The sun is setting, so the clouds are also going away. It's 75 in South Bend, 76 in Plymouth, 79 down in Rochester. So very, very comfortable temperatures right around where we should be. The average is 76. But look where we started this morning. 50 in South Bend, 50 in Warsaw, 52 in Goshen. No upper 40s technically, but it was still a chilly start. I've been getting questions, it's very chilly this morning. Are we near record lows? Well, get this. We've been as cold on this day as 33 degrees. So no, we are nowhere near record territory. We hit 50. That's not even close to the top 3 coldest days for September 11th. So yes, it was chilly, but no, we were nowhere near a record.
Team coverage tonight as we break down the weekend storm for Saturday, the impacts on your travel, and more with ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Meteorologist Tyler Sebree. Tyler?
Yeah, Tom, as you mentioned, confidence continues to climb with this system, but it's not just the snow that's going to be an impact here. There's going to be other components that come into play. As you're driving or traveling over the weekend, tonight, really Friday night into Saturday, there's going to be wind with this system as well. So as you're driving, keep in mind here, winds are going to be 25 to 35 miles an hour. You're going to need to drive carefully and add plenty of time between your destination or between where you're leaving and where you plan on going. Any blowing or drifting snow will cause visibility to really drop, and it makes things more challenging. Also, this snow is going to be on the fluffy side, which means it will be blown around more simply because temperatures are so cold. So keep that in mind as you're traveling this weekend. Also, that's the area we're highlighting for travel impacts from this system. A lot of orange, red, and even purple on the map for Indiana, the southern half of Michigan, much of Illinois, including Chicago, and into Ohio. So any regional travel is going to be very difficult beginning as early as tomorrow night through Saturday and even into Sunday. So keep that in mind if you have any plans over the next 72 hours or so. It's not just Michiana, it's the region as a whole. We'll have more details on this system throughout our 90 minutes of news. I'm live in the newsroom. ABC 57 First Warning Neighborhood Weather Meteorologist Tyler Sebree.